A man high on meth stole two planes without a pilot's license. Clubs in Japan are beginning to put upper age limits on the customers. And a man broke into a Little Caesars pizza and made and sold pizzas. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast. I got some bizarre stories per usual. I hope you enjoy them. Let's go. A man high on meth stole two planes without a pilot's license. Wow, two planes? This is quite a heist. I'd love to get the number to his dealer. Sounds like I can get some stuff done on whatever this meth is. Here I am, lazy. Can barely get off the couch these days to get motivated. This guy stealing two planes. This guy's got meth ambition, also called methbition. I just made that up. All right, let me get back on the runway. This is a California man who was very motivated. He stole two small airplanes high on meth without a pilot's license. That's what it says in the title. You don't need to put without a pilot's license. That's kind of implied that if you steal planes on meth, you probably don't have a pilot's license. But thanks for clarification. I mean, they say it like it would have been acceptable had he had a pilot's license. What, he stole two planes on meth? But without a license? Oh, how dastardly. I mean, at least have a pilot's license if you're going to steal planes. What's wrong with you? That's like saying a man robs a bank and wasn't even a customer of that bank. All right. I haven't even begun the article. Let's start. It says, here's a crime you don't hear about every day. A 38-year-old California man snagged a pair of airplanes. He even flew one of them across 2 states, all while high on methamphetamine. What's even weirder is that he didn't even have a pilot's license. I mean, come on, who wrote this? That's weirder? That he stole two planes high on meth, all right? The license isn't weirder than that. I mean, what kind of judgment of weird is this? I'll tell you what's weird, all right? I'm a professional at what's weird. What's weird is not that he didn't have the pilot's license part. Now, it says the FBI got wind of the plane theft spree when a single-engine aircraft disappeared from Auburn Municipal Airport in Washington State. Normally, airplanes have a transponder unit broadcasting their signal to air traffic controllers. The FBI explained, quote, the transponder had been manipulated during the flight in order to conceal where the plane had been over a 3-day period. This guy hijacked a plane for 3 days for his own little personal trips, and he was smart enough to, manipulate the transponder to conceal where he was? Yeah, but without a pilot's license. Yeah, that's the weird part. All right, if Methface can take a plane and then conceal his location on it and fly it for 3 days, take off, land multiple times, I don't think it's that hard to steal a plane, it sounds like. What do they, leave the keys in these damn things? Dude stole 2 of them. I mean, what's going on with the planes? Are people just leaving their planes unlocked, all confident, yeah, no one will take this? I mean, come on. You need a pilot's license to take this. And, look up the stats. Not a lot of people have pilot's license. Now, it says the FBI was on the case with their Joint Terrorism Task Force hunting for the aircraft. Witnesses reported that it landed in Kelso, Washington, with a couple on board, but then flew away again. This person picked up passengers? Had a couple on board. Okay. Is this like that story about the bus that I covered a few months ago? The dude stole a bus on his birthday, like a public bus, but stopped and picked up and dropped off passengers the whole way. All right, back to the FBI investigation of this pilot. They suspected eventually they were dealing with a seasoned pilot, even possibly a professional airport theft team. FBI agents staked out the Corona Municipal Airport. Days turned into weeks. They began to suspect that it was all a dead end. But then finally, January 27th, 38-year-old Christian Estoque rolled up to the airport. He started a different aircraft, I guess attempting to steal another aircraft. And at that point, the FBI took him into custody. And that's the end of the story. I'd love to know what the charges are. I mean, obviously theft, but what else? I assume piloting without a license. Did you find meth on him? Any drug paraphernalia, perhaps? How do they know that he was on the meth? It doesn't say anything about the meth. It says he's a California man, but this is Florida man vibes. Are we sure he's not originally from Florida? I got so many questions. Sounds like nobody was harmed, though, in all the transportation that was going on, thankfully. Hopefully this guy can get some rehab and maybe, I don't know, get a pilot's license. Go legit. A club in Japan has an upper age limit, and it's causing some controversy. While minimum age restrictions are commonplace around the world for establishments serving alcohol, upper age limits are pretty rare. So it's no surprise that a bar in Tokyo has made headlines for imposing a ban on older customers. Despite the backlash, the bar, which is a part of a chain, claims it merely wants its patrons' preferences to match its boisterous atmosphere. The place is called Toriyaro Dogenzaka. It is an izakaya, which is also known as an affordable Japanese pub. It's located in Tokyo's very popular and busy Shibuya district. A few weeks ago, a sign appeared outside the entrance reading, quote, "Entrance limited to customers between the ages of 29 and 39. This is an izakaya for younger generations, pub for under 40 only." Well, it's not that under 40 only. It said specifically customers between the ages of 29 and 39, which is very specific. Seems odd. Now, the pub, as I said, is part of a chain, although the Shibuya location seems to be the only one to have explicitly stated an age policy thus far. There are some caveats, it says. Written in tiny writing, it says older patrons are admitted as long as one person in the party is 39 or younger. What? So, I mean, it's sort of a soft ban, which I don't even know. Is this legal? Can you even do this? I don't know. I don't know how it works in Japan. But in the States, you would get a lot more backlash, I think, if you tried this stuff. And to be honest, you don't really have to come up with a hard rule or ban. You can just create the atmosphere that older people wouldn't even want to be a part of in the first place. Or rather, the atmosphere that younger people want. In general, older people do not want, in my experience. I mean, I'm just generalizing here. I know that at my age, over 40, I have no interest in being in establishments that are super loud at this point in my life. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm all about, you know what my thing is now? Hotels that don't allow children. Oh, there's a few of them. They're out there, guys. Look for them. They're wonderful. Oh, so wonderful. You can enjoy the pool so serenely. No splashing, screaming. No kids in the hot tub ever. Oh, it's a dream. Trust me. Now, if they could just make no dogs allowed hotels, that would be a dream. Oh, my goodness. I can't tell you. All the hotels I go to out in California, so many dogs. Now, as far as bars go, I would welcome an over 35 bar. Very chill, because like I said, I don't want all the noise. Just play some lo-fi, R&B, hip-hop, Free reading glasses at all the tables so I can see the menu. And at the end of the night, a little jar at the door where I can just grab a handful of Tums after I've bombarded my body with beer and booze. And I need to now battle the acid reflux that's about to keep me up all night. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would welcome that sort of environment. But I never like the stern bans and stern restrictions. In general, I don't like that. I think, you just have a vibe about your institution, and the people that are attracted to that vibe will come and they'll want to hang out, and the people that don't enjoy that vibe will hopefully leave if they have any social skills whatsoever. It's of course you're going to have the few that can't pick up clues in the atmosphere, and those idiots will be lingering. But you can always give them dirty looks throughout the night until they bounce. That might be effective. I don't know. I'm being stupid right now. Now, regarding this pub, this izakaya, it says the door staff will reportedly check that the customer is in an, quote, appropriate condition. It's unclear if that's referring to attire or alcohol levels, and happy with the pub's ambiance, according to their website. The upper age limit is supposedly to ensure cohesion between patron preferences and the pub's atmosphere. The chain is known for its affordable prices, low-key design, and spirited vibe, all intended to lure a youthful crowd. A PR representative for the bar said, quote, "With older customers, they tend to make a lot of complaints about the restaurant being too noisy and such, so we decided to limit who's coming in so that everyone can go home happy about the experience that they had." The move by the bar, however, has been branded as discriminatory online, One individual highlighted that, quote, "There's a difference between people's physical and mental ages." Yes, that is true. That is true. I know some men that are 50 years old that are still going at Coachella. They also skateboard and wear baseball caps still, like infants. The article here ends by saying the practice of restricting entrance to younger patrons is already common in neighboring South Korea. In Hongdae, Seoul's University District, many clubs and bars with dance floors enforce unofficial upper age restriction for those over 30, with some going as low as 28 or even 25. Wow. Some other venues also turn away older patrons. According to the Korea Times, many sports facilities and coffee shops have introduced no seniors zones, citing the incompatibility of older customers with their atmosphere. Oh, so this is going on in other countries in Asia as well, it sounds like. Don't they have an aging population in Japan, in South Korea? Really? It's like no one's having babies. Are you sure you want to, restrict the elderly from? I mean, pretty soon everybody in the country is going to be considered senior. Oh, what do I know? What do you guys think, anyways? This upper age restrictions? Would you welcome such things in your culture, in your country? Email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. I'd love to know what you think about this.
Rinse knows that greatness takes time, but so does laundry. So Rinse will take your laundry and hand deliver it to your door expertly cleaned. And you can take the time pursuing your passions. Time once spent sorting and waiting, folding and queuing, now spent challenging and innovating and pushing your way to greatness. So pick up the Irish flute or those calligraphy pens or that daunting beef Wellington recipe card and leave the laundry to us. Rinse. It's time to be great.
A man broke into a Little Caesars pizza establishment and started making and selling pizzas. Oh, we call that the old break-in and clock-in. This is how you know unemployment is just completely out of control, when people are stealing jobs. My question is, why Little Caesars, though? Of all the establishments, why would you steal a job at Little Caesars? This guy is just like, my destiny is to make mediocre pizzas for the people, and I'm not going to allow a felony record in my past to deny me a position at Little Caesars. In fact, I'll use my felonious skills to get this job tonight. We have here a North Carolina man facing multiple felony charges after he broke into a Little Caesars after closing time and started making and selling pizzas, according to the police. Is this the only time Little Caesars was 24 hours? Sounds like this man is doing some good things for the brand. All right, let's keep reading and find out just how he got caught. Was a customer suspicious because the pizza was just too good? Yeah, police, I'd like to report a delicious pizza from Little Caesars, so something must be up. I think a crime is afoot. Now, this all happened on Sunday, the day after a massive snowstorm hit the state. The suspect kept all of the money he made for himself, according to the Kinston Police Department. Wait, so he was making pizzas and then delivering them and then keeping the money as well? Don't people pay for pizzas these days off an app? How did he get that money? I got so many questions about how this all went down. Now, the Kinston Police Department responded to Little Caesars in reference to a breaking and entering. Upon arrival, officers were advised that 41-year-old Jonathan Hackett, a former employee, had unlawfully entered the business on 2 separate occasions. All right, it's now coming together here. He used to work at Little Caesars, so he's familiar with the whole process of making subpar pies. I wonder what happened that he no longer works at the police department. Do you think it's because he likes to do B&Es? What could it be? Now, according to the report, during the first incident, Hackett entered the Little Caesars, prepared pizzas, sold them to customers, and kept the proceeds for himself. During the second pizza heist, Hackett again broke into the business while it was occupied by employees. Wow, they were there. This guy needs to keep it after hours. The employees at that time saw him and attempted to prevent him from entering and making pizzas. Don't take another step towards that oven. Hey, man, put down the dough, all right? We don't want any problems. Now, the second incident resulted in a physical altercation between Hackett and the employees, I assume his former coworkers. Hackett was injured during a brawl, taken to the hospital for treatment. He was arrested and is being released. Here's what he's charged with: felony breaking and or entering, felony obtaining property by false pretenses, felony larceny after breaking and entering, misdemeanor breaking and entering, violating city curfew. What the city curfew? What's that all about? What city has a curfew right now in the U.S.? This is all new to me. Good to know, though, guys. Try and keep your crimes before midnight so that you don't get slapped with this additional violation of a city curfew. It says investigators did not report how many pizzas the suspect made and sold to unaware customers. I'd love to know. I mean, it's amazing to me that he made any money, because who's paying cash for anything these days? But I mean, apparently in the Carolinas, people are just rolling up to Little Caesars and paying cash for a pizza. I mean, none of it makes sense to me. I mean, and this is a lot of charges for a dude that just wants some employment, clearly. I mean, how about a little nuance here in considerations for this guy's hustle and ambition? I mean, considering the alternatives in the U.S. when somebody doesn't have money and wants to get it, violent crime seems to be the norm. This guy's just making some pies here. And, if we're being honest, given the low quality of this pizza, one could argue that making and selling Little Caesars pizza is always a crime.
It's last call for football on FanDuel, with one last round of rewards every day through Super Bowl 60. One last week for one more chance. Visit the FanDuel app all week long for limited time boost every day until football runs out. FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 60.
New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. 21 plus and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for spending some time with my Weird AF News podcast episode today. Please like the show and subscribe if you haven't. I do Weird News 5 days a week, and on Friday, that would be tomorrow, I only do weird news from Florida. In fact, if you come across any weird news from Florida and you would like to submit for consideration for tomorrow's episode, my email is funnyjones@gmail.com. Also, I'm on Instagram @funnyjones. You can slide into my DMs with your Florida story as well. Please make them recent, preferably from this week. I would appreciate that. I try and do current weird Florida news. I want to give thanks and praise. A couple people bought me coffee. One is called The Retarded Italian, who bought me a coffee off my website, weirdafnews.com. The Retarded Italian wrote, "This podcast is 3 out of 10. I listen every morning. Not funny. He doesn't even speak Italian or knows the difference between Austria and Australia. Au contraire, mon frère, for I do know the difference between Austria and Australia, and I can do a rather acceptable accent in both of those categories, as I have done on this podcast. Legit. However, you're correct. I do not speak Italian, although I know a couple of phrases. I know agita, and I know mingya. So yes, retarded Italian, you are correct in that. Well, feel free to teach me some Italian if you'd like. I'm down with that. I hope you'll continue to listen, although you give me 3 out of 10 on it. You're still listening every morning, though. I'm confused by that if you don't enjoy it. Of course, this could all be tongue-in-cheek, a joke here, in which case, hilarious. I do enjoy it. And by the way, thanks for the coffee. I appreciate that so much. And I hope you'll continue to listen. Now, someone else bought me a coffee, and they labeled themselves as just someone. This happened like a week ago. Someone named Someone bought me a coffee. But here's another individual named Someone. I don't know if it's the same someone, but they wrote, "I always enjoy having my friends listen in while I'm enjoying you. Maybe I'll be able to listen only to music." I think what they're saying is maybe someday they'll go back to music because they're listening too much to this podcast. What do your friends think about you forcing them to listen in while you're enjoying me? Do they get any enjoyment out of that? I got a lot of questions about this message, but I'm grateful for the coffee, and I'm grateful that you listen. You just might want to consider your friends' feelings. Maybe they don't want some non-consensual weird AF news. It's not for everybody. I realize that, and the reviews reflect that too. All right, I also got an email from Barry from Canada who wrote, "Hey, Jonesy, we listen to your podcast every morning with our morning coffee. Love the material, love your delivery. We own an amazing bakery in an amazing and magical place called Peachland, British Columbia. This is truly a magical town, Jonesy. Has been the site of numerous Hallmark movies over the years. We've been officially discovered in a big way. Peachland was just named by Coca-Cola as Canada's kindest community. Well, we already knew this, but it sure is great to be recognized for it. Got some links here. Barry writes, I think this kind of honor needs to be celebrated. Yeah, I agree, Barry. Celebration for Peachland. It sounds like a lovely place. Barry writes, why don't you consider taking your show on the road? Come visit us in Peachland. I would be happy to buy you a coffee with a view of Lake Okanagan. Can't say it, Barry. I'm trying. Barry writes, maybe we can spot the legendary Ogopogo. Well, I don't know what any of this is, Barry. Could I get some photos? It says, hope you have a weird AF day. Barry, he owns a bakery, owner of the Bliss Bakery and Bistro. I went to the website for Bliss Bakery. They make some cool stuff. So shout out to Barry and Bliss and Peachland in general. I'll come. I'd love to get on the road, but it's hard. It's hard to make these long trips for just a muffin. You know what I'm saying, Barry? I got to make some money, and I'm assuming there's nobody else in Peachland listening to me. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I always appreciate the enthusiasm. Listeners want me to come to their area and do a comedy show or whatever, have a meet and greet. But it's just, I'm broke. These things require plane tickets and. So I can only make these sorts of trips if I can, get some payment out of it so that I'm not just making a trip to make a trip. You know what I mean? Because I just can't. It's like make trips like this or pay my rent. But again, I so appreciate everybody that says, please come and see us, someday. If you at some point think, and you can prove to me that I'll be able to sell, 50 tickets at $20 a pop to do a comedy show in your area. Yeah, I'll totally jump on a plane and do it. And then, you just put me up somewhere. Shoot, I'll stay on your couch. But all right, I say all that to say thank you to Barry and Peachland, a place that sounds just absolutely lovely. Peachland, unbelievable. All right, if you want to buy me a coffee like these wonderful supporters, and go to weirdafnews.com. There's a banner. When you scroll down, it says buy me a coffee. You could just click on that. And next to it is a banner for my Patreon as well. You can join the Patreon. Oh, yeah, someone else joined the Patreon. Oh, I got to give them a shout out. Let me go back to the other email I have here. Here it is, a new member of the Patreon. Julie Hepburn. She just became a member. It looks like she might live in California. You a California girl, Julie? I have so few listeners in California. You would think I'd have more because I live here, but no, I got more listeners in Canada, to be honest with you. But anyway, shout out to Julie for supporting the show in a major way, stepping it up and joining the Patreon. And it's a wonderful thing to do, to join the Patreon, because you get extra weird AF content in there. I put stuff in there all the time. Julie, go through it. You'll find all sorts of enjoyable pieces of media, articles, personal stories, and pictures, videos I've posted, clips of my stand-up, my whereabouts, my little personal anecdotes. A lot of pictures of the closets that I've recorded in while I was on the road, this sort of thing. Anyways, shout out to Julie. If you guys want to be cool like Julie and join the Patreon, you know what to do. Go to patreon.com/weirdafnews. All right, I've kept you way too long in the outro. So sorry. I will move on, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Florida Friday episode. Thank you so much. Have a great day.